When we get hot, don't worry about it. When we get them sponsors up, everybody gonna be listening. They gonna be like, yo.
Hey, I'm cool with a cute podcast as long as people.
I don't know if I want a sponsor. I don't want no self talk.
No self talk though. You know what I'm saying? Some people
I
heard say, yo, it's too much cursing. I'm like,
em.
Who?
That's what I'm talking
Do they
about.
live here?
I don't know where the
I
fuck
don't
they
give a
live.
fuck. Fuck them. Don't listen.
That's what I'm talking about. But yo, people listening though.
Good. Good. Okay, if they feel like we cursing too much, cut a check with all these equipment and
Travel
expenses and all
We need
that
them
shit.
sponsorships.
Yo, man, fuck them. They don't give a fuck about them motherfuckers, man. We do what the fuck we want.
That's
Get
what
your
I'm
own part and not cuss.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cuss.
And make it
Curse.
interesting too.
Yeah.
Make it interesting.
Yo, we're recording, by the way.
Good.
All right. Longtime friend of the pod, longtime friend of the people on the pod. So introduce
Man,
yourself.
we were.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up,
is
JJ?
JJ with the actual factuals. Really excited to be here with this crew. I missed y'all.
We do.
I
Miss you too. It's been a minute.
Y'all. I miss listening to y'all talk shit.
Word. Back in the day.
I'm
Word.
excited to talk shit again with y'all.
All right. Respect. All right. We got the usual suspects here.
Yeah. What's up, people? This is AD. Glad to be here. That's it.
Yo, Easy Rose, what's poppin', man? Brooklyn stand up, New York City stand up, East Coast stand up,
Damn,
Atlanta
you
stand
shouting out
up.
a lot of people.
Everybody
Stand up.
stand up.
Get your ass
You know
up.
what I'm saying? Get up.
All right. Tony Stallion here. All right. Before we get into his topics, though, so JJ, we happy to have you here. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, without giving your real identity away.
Word. So yeah, JJ, been working in the industry for about 6 years now, working in strategy. Got my degree in marketing and advertising, so I'm a thoroughbred like that. But used to work with this crew over here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Back in the days.
Black owned life, and now I'm at the not so black owned life, and it's real interesting, that GM, that general market.
What's one of the differences you see, I guess, since you worked on both sides of the fence?
So one of the biggest differences, I'm gonna get right into it.
Get to it.
Right into it.
Go ahead.
One of the
Do
biggest
it.
things I noticed, I love the time at the Dubs, but unfortunately, like, black people, we can't get our financial stuff together.
Yeah,
and so when
man.
you go to the GM side, you just have more perks, you have more opportunities, you have more resource, and that's
They've
just
been
kind
doing
of
it
the way
longer,
of the
too.
white world, exactly. But I do miss the family aspect at a larger corporate level. Like within my team, I definitely have a family and we're all very close knit. But at the larger company level, like it's not like how, the CEO and the VP back then, like that was family too. It's not that way there. And so you feel less of a stake in the work and less of a stake in just like the bottom line of everything.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was important just for motivation's sake. But then also what's different is just like the respect that you get from your clients. I feel like clients don't respect niche agencies as much, or the opinion of niche agencies as much as they respect like the stalwarts.
Right.
So it's just interesting to see how even clients interact and how they take the information that I'm giving them versus previously at a black owned, how that information would be received. So those are one of the biggest things I know.
Probably because they know that people can be bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
That's
No,
interesting.
that's real.
Ain't no maybe.
Ain't no maybe. Ain't no maybe in that. They're like, yo, if I could go buy that shit.
We gonna revisit that because
All right.
are segmented agencies, are they needed? Because I think, well, let me just throw it to the floor and you guys let me know. Like, do you think like these segmented African American or Hispanic agencies are needed nowadays? If you're saying like, hey, at a general market agency, you have more budget, so it's like do they just need to hire the people and then just keep it all in general market, or do you need these segmented agencies to come up with these niche marketing campaigns? And bottom line, is it worth it?
I mean, you can almost argue, that same thing with schools. Some people feel that about HBCUs, like, are they even needed, right? And I would say yeah, only because it's just certain experiences you're not going to get, I guess, at a general market spot that you could get at a niche agency. However, I do know that the niche agencies, multicultural or target, however you want to dice it, probably need to step up their capabilities, especially around digital. And if you're funny, you look at digital, it's niche because you can't really do digital in the general market point of view, right? You kind of have to target and segment your audience. Otherwise, you literally throwing a bucket of water into the ocean, right? So
are you going to get that bag?
Are you going to get the bag? I don't know.
At a segment, like...
Maybe.
Depends on where you're sitting at the table.
My issue is
because you could get the title.
I don't feel like they valued you. They didn't value. I didn't feel valued.
But look, historically though, the segment agencies got a lot of us in the industry,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
that was my
real.
first agency, so yeah.
Let's be real.
Real quick before we go, congratulations on your new title and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You talking about title of dad? A title of.
Title at work, bro.
Hey, look, I'm gonna wait till the
all
ink
know
dry
you're his
first.
dad.
Let's wait till that ink dry and we get. You know what I mean? Well, thank you, but I'm just waiting for the ink dry first, bro. So we'll see what happens. But
It sounds like something my grandparents would say, man.
because he country like me, right?
country is fucking.
It
They were
worked.
like, yo, like
They wait for that ink dry, man. That ink can be wiped off.
it's not my grandmother I used to ask my grandmother about certain people, and I'd be like, hey, grandma, how you feel about this person? And she'd be like, I don't got a problem with them. It's not that I don't like them. I just don't trust them. So like, it's
you gotta wait and see.
same.
It's a wait and
It's
see
that same
scenario.
mentality.
Yep.
So wait and see. But back to what Tony was saying. Yeah, and JJ do have a point. Like, sometimes the bag is bigger at these other spots that have better resources, but we got to take into account that they've been around longer, right? Some of these agents been around like, JWT is an example. They've been around like 100 years, right? And, a lot of the agencies got consolidated in the 80s and were part of these big four holding companies. So they're a lot more, they have more resources, money and people and expertise, actually in the game, right? So I do feel that these agencies or these segment agencies should be around. They just got to figure out how to evolve in the digital era.
One of the things that's interesting, I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, actually, because one of the things right now is the value of segmented agencies is that we know culture like nobody else.
True.
Right?
The insights.
Because we're part of the culture. The people are part of the culture.
We live it.
Right.
But the thing about it, and I think a lot of companies are seeing this right now, and a lot of the work that I'm starting to do at my job is centered around this, is the fact that, like, culture is a risk right now. And a lot of these CMOs who, they got 2 years to make some shit right before they get recycled out, they're not trying to really take risk in those 2 years. And so I think right now isn't necessarily a good time for segmented agencies, just simply because the culture is a risk.
But I think it's a risk when you don't have those people in the room.
Right.
Like, take it out of agencies real quick. Coco, that was a great movie. I don't know if you all seen it. It has all the Latina, half my family's Latino, so it's like a lot of the culture and a lot of the nuances I could relate to and I could see, and it was real because the people who made the film are Hispanic background,
right?
But take that and let's just say Pixar would have been like, all right, we're just gonna have our regular animators or storytellers tell a story. It could have been a flop. It could have been horrible,
right?
I.e., we always bring it up. Pepsi. It's like they did it in house. Somebody was like, "Yo, this shit is popping." This whole Black Lives Matter.
Shit.
Well, I don't want to throw nobody under the bus without knowing exactly.
I ain't going on the bus. That's what they say on these ad streets, bro.
That's what they saying, but I'm just saying. But the point being is just like, when we not there, I feel like there's a risk of that companies don't want to take versus it's like if you have the people there. To me, it's less risky.
Just the reality from a tonality standpoint, like that's why these segmented agencies need to be there, or either as a consultant, they just need to be in the room because, and I feel like I've talked about this before, but like sometimes you just need to have like real motherfuckers in the room, right? Like you need to have a person that can say, nah, that shit looks crazy, that shit look whack. Because a lot of times it's like, you know, you have all these people and then you think that, oh, well, if I take this popular person, if I take, you know, the Migos and I put a fucking, I don't know, just some weird shit in their hand and this is just going to come across as like
cool,
culturally impactful. And it's like, no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like this shit is just bad. I mean, I don't know if we're going to kind of get into this, but it's like, you know, even me being a black person, right? Like here and there, like, yeah, we might internally use the N-word. Let's say we're talking about the N-word. We're using the N-word. Now, mind you, if I see another person who looks like me, but I don't know them, I don't use the N-word towards them because I don't know them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
People think that people of color or black people just
we all get along.
Right. So it's like, oh yeah, like it's like no, it's like now you're becoming too familiar. So now I got to step to you in a way. It's like, hold on, that's a thing that people don't know. Like people don't know. They just say, oh well, it's like that argument. Well, black people use the N-word. It's like, well, that's not necessarily true because like if I don't know AD. It's like I would never approach him like that. Yo, what's up, ma? Whatever. He like looking at me like I'm crazy. Like I don't know you like that.
People get offended at that word.
So
that's why. Yeah, if you're from the South, you might disrespect somebody.
You might not
they say it a lot, but they may not say it in front of mixed company.
Right.
You know,
right.
Or whatever.
I'm glad you brought that point up because there was an example of not really segmented marketing, but there was this Vice documentary of like the rise of Asian rappers. And
talking about them Asian dudes sound like Migos.
Well, I thought they were dope. Actually,
Rich Brian.
But I guess that's a different topic. Moving on from segmented marketing, but can rappers who are not white say the N-word?
No,
because in this documentary they had the Asian.
No.
All right, I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
They had the guy from Long Beach, grew up in the hood, was a Crip.
So
No, I'm not saying they were like everybody in the doc was cool. They were like, nah,
I'm gonna let you finish.
He grew up this way. It's like he knows what it is.
Right. But again, to like my point, it's like that's a thing that they don't understand. Again, you grew up on Long Beach. Now you come to Brooklyn and I hear you talking like that. And I'm like, I don't know you like that.
Leave it in Long Beach.
Leave that shit in Long Beach and the group of people that allow you to do that shit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like like at the end of the day, it's like now you becoming familiar, and now that's a bad taste. And you got to think about it. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of China Mac. China Mac is a rapper.
China Mac.
So So China Mac,
right?
So China Mac had an interview, and he said something about how like he used to use the word,
right?
And then some dude was like telling him like, I don't think you should use that word. Like it looked kind of bad. He's like, well, F you, you know what I'm saying? I grew up this way. I'm gonna use it. I was like, I don't know. But then another dude approached him. He was like, you know what? But like, you are a rapper, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm a rapper. He's like, okay, well, you want to reach more people. You want to have it like, you want to be known internationally or nationwide. He's like, yeah. He's like, so people from the South in Atlanta or just in towns in South Carolina, like they don't take that word very lightly. So if you're saying that, you've segmented yourself. Like you've actually moved yourself away from the conversation. Yeah. And then he thought about it. He was like, damn, well, if I want to reach other people, I'm already created boundaries for myself by just using a word that's offending people. Right. So it's a lot of things like people don't know. Just because you're not white, that don't make the shit right.
But
no, let me. Okay.
Oh no, I was gonna say is Asian, but for Asian culture, especially Chinese specifically, but Asian culture is real interesting because I was reading up about it, just this idea because it's not just the rappers, it's also like the cultural, like there's a whole group, there's a whole like in Japan and in China there's like a whole thing about like
the breakdancing,
looking black,
blackface,
themselves, wearing braids. There's a whole market for that shit.
Even some of the products got black faces on it.
But they talked about the fact of like it's ingrained in their heritage and culture, like Asian culture and Chinese culture specifically. Like for decades and centuries, it's always been homogeny is encouraged. Everybody is taught to follow this same straight and narrow path, to be the smart, to be the multi-talented in XYZ, violin, mandolin, whatever, learn this, learn that, and everybody is kind of coached to grow up and be the same. Right. And so then you have a lot of these Asian Americans that come here, or like these first generation Asians that come to America with their families, who are coaching them in that same homogeny. But then they're like, I want to break out. Like, I don't want to be like homie next door to me and the same Asian people that I'm gonna grow up for the rest of my life. Like, I want to be different. And so I think it's just a little interesting to see. And it's like, do we embrace it, or do we just
and plus, they've always liked American culture, right? And American culture right now is hip hop,
right? Yeah. And then to your point too, I feel like I've heard Asian people tell me this, and it's like a lot of them feel like they lack an identity, right? And to your point, like, that's what it is. It's like, black people, we for years and years we've manifested in being cool. Like, we've always been cool, right? So now you have people who might be Asian. Like, I've been to China, I've been to Japan, right? You talking about and I'm not
light flex.
You always say that. No, I'm telling you,
within the last 2 years.
Listen, man, what I'm telling you is, like, when you're out there, like, China is a communist nation, right? Like, everyone looks up to Mao. It's a certain.
They even got Google.
And, and communism is homogeny.
Right, exactly.
Yes. Communism is homogeny.
Exactly. So when you have people, and it's what you're saying, it's just one way. It's one way. So then when they see me, they're like, oh, shit, this dude is 6'2", black. Is he a basketball player or a rapper? Like, let me take a picture with him. Like, let me. Like,
they kept asking me that in Bali.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, I was like, Nick's third string. I was like, yeah.
Motherfuckers was asking me if I was Obama's brother. Like, first of all, I look nothing like motherfucking Obama.
Right. So, but they embrace the culture, and to your point, like, they don't have no Google, they don't have no Facebook. I forget the names of the.
Like the social
WeChat.
WeChat is one of them. Like, right, exactly. Like, the government's job is to keep all that shit away from them. Yeah. And we're still seeping through. Like, so, and that's the thing about it. It's like, like, what most people, black people are so complex. Like, we wear so many masks every day. Like, I'm being myself, but I'm not really myself. I'm the part that's just gonna meet you halfway. That's the side of me. You know what I'm saying? So again,
this is the side I had me get the check.
Right, exactly. So what you don't understand about me is, like, when I in the morning, multifaceted, bro. Like, I don't listen to rap music all the time. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. People come up to me, these rap slang. Yeah, I know all of it, but I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit right now. I want to hear that shit. I'm focused on this. So we're just so complex, and that's the beauty about us. And it's like, that's what allows us to check motherfuckers when they like, you gotta check motherfuckers at the door, because I'm saving your life. Because if you met someone else who wasn't me,
that can be a problem.
You could be losing a tooth, or you could be on your back pocket. Either or, like,
look, I'm glad
you be on your back pocket. I love that.
I'm glad.
I love that.
Getting up. You know what I'm saying? You can be on your back pocket. I'm saying, JJ. I'm just saying.
Is it your duty to be like, like, if y'all want to rap it in private, do your thing. Don't say that shit around me.
Well, I check motherfuckers all the time. Me and you hang out, so you've seen me do this before.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, like, it depends on how I feel about it. If I feel a way, I'm gonna say something, because, like, for so long, like, I feel like, again, yes, it's bothering me, but at the end of the day, like, you could be saving somebody, because you don't
honestly, it just feels different when I know.
Oh, you talking about like just regardless as a show of music? I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's a good point you're talking about, because, like, sometimes if I'm at a show, if I'm at a party, even at a work event, like, we have a holiday party and they play all that shit, everybody listen to that shit. When those certain parts come, I look the other way.
Yeah,
I look down.
I feel like as men, though, you guys probably encounter it much more than I do, because I feel like people aren't as readily or freely expressive to women with the word nigga. I feel like as black men, though, people are more, because they associate nigga with black men.
Of course.
My personal thought on that is that nigga is associated with black male identifying people.
Especially if you're not talking about hip hop, which is mostly male, dominant or whatever. But it's tricky, because we are talking about music. We are talking about, like, this wasn't as much of an issue 10, 20 years ago because that music was mostly our music. It was urban music, right? But now that hip hop is pop culture,
Right.
I mean,
Leading genre.
Let's be real.
It's the leading genre.
It's the leading genre right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
been that
not
way
to
for a
say
while.
that other cultures didn't appreciate
Okay.
hip hop back
I
then.
was gonna say-
but I'm talking about the popularity
Okay,
of it.
But with
right?
the internet now, it's like
It's
everybody's
everywhere.
access to it.
Yeah, it's
All
everywhere.
right.
So now when
So
you
it's
do
proven.
have a lot of rappers putting that in the music, putting that word in the music, a little bit, a lot more than previous generation of hip hop of rappers, I think it does become a conversation, right? I'm not saying that the people who's listen to the music should or should not say it, but they need to understand
Watch
the
who you say
content,
around.
the context of the meaning of the word, the context of who's listened to it, and where it's been spoken. And just think about it, right?
Right.
Like your surroundings of where you listen to it. Some people are fine with other cultures saying the word, and a lot of people are not. But let's be real. It is in the music, and
Right.
whatever you put in the music, people are gonna repeat. Hey, I knew this chick. I ain't gonna say her name, but we used to work at this spot. She's Latino. She grew up in New York, so a lot of the Latin, Puerto Rican culture overlap and intermingle with hip hop and black people, right? It just did, right? But that works in New York. She was trying to explain that in the South, and I'm saying I understand your point of view, but you're below the Mason-Dixon line. So it's a little different. And down there,
it was just you and her, or you?
just me and her talking.
Okay.
Because we were just talking about the uses of the word, right? And I was like, look, I understand where you're coming from, but that doesn't apply down here. It just don't, because shit down here is polarizing. Everything is literally black and white.
But even in New York, though, I had to have that conversation with my ex.
Oh, word?
I had
Oh, he's
to
your
check
ex
my own
now?
ex. Yeah. he's
Oh,
my
you
ex.
want to talk about that?
God damn, JJ.
Saying.
God damn.
Yeah.
What
he's
was
the
his
ex now.
ethnicity?
Oh.
He was Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Grew up in Queens, and that grew up around the folk. And that's normal. Like you said, in New York, that's normal and it flies in your own community. Right. But I had to check him because it was he felt like he could just use it around all my friends. And
now he embarrassing home
now
base.
you embarrassing. Now you making me
Don't embarrass
mad.
mama.
Use it around, and I was like, you can't do this. But also, my
embarrass
personal
mama.
thing is whenever I use the word nigga, I will never directly refer to someone as nigga. I would be like, oh, this nigga, but like
an Issa Rae kind of
no direct referral. It's more so in reference to somebody that probably isn't even in the room.
Right.
Or
It's never
negative.
Rose, nigga. That's
right.
That's
And that's so
awkward.
crazy that you
That's
say that
wrong.
too, because sometimes I've seen it coming from people of color, anybody could be that.
Yeah.
It don't has nothing to do with
Right. It's just how you carry yourself. It's
context.
How you act. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's respect the culture.
Right.
And know where it comes from, and
if you on that type of time, then it's cool. If you could back up whatever you say, and a person approach you accordingly, and you are about whatever's about to come to you, then I respect it. Go ahead, man. Do your thing. Fight for what you believe in.
For real.
basically. All right.
It's snowing outside, so your back pockets will be cold.
Damn.
Oh
my God.
that's no soft talk right there.
Think about it.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it.
Yo, Rose, you already know.
You already know what type of time we on, man. Ain't no soft talk when it comes to telling the truth. We out.
All right.
Peace.